Although these days Inferno is a different beast. You have a very different map. It's more open. You have a meta or rather a situation where everyone now realizes the UMPs are rather godlike. That's a good start, Exist. A very good start indeed. 2 quick pops from him, and that's a decisive advantage for NiP. Should be pretty easy to close this one out from this point forwards. Crim's now stuck in the boiler. And as try as he might, there's surely is just too many. And indeed, Draken, or rather, Forest actually going for the knife there. But it was stolen away by Draken.
Knife. That knife has got to be called Rust in Peace. Like, how can you not call it Rust in Peace?
That's what yours is called though, no?
Yeah.
So
Forest can use it as well. I like Forest. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's a good guy. NiP are so awesome to hang out with at events.
They are really awesome dudes.
Yeah. Ooh. That's a great start. It is a great start. So satisfying to... It's so nice to cancel your strafe with the scout and just shoot someone in the face. It's nice.
Well, I mean, you have to, if you create like a top 5 list of most satisfying things to do in this game, that has to be top 3.
We all know James' top 1 is knifing people.
That's true.
Number 1 is knifing people. Number 2 is knifing people in a situation where you make a hero play and win a round and die afterwards. For example, like if you were Rafters in Nuke and you jumped off, knifed someone and died on impact, but you won the round, right? That would be like the most awesome thing. Okay.
No, the most satisfying is getting a grenade kill, but like where you do 1 damage and then you hit him with like a flashbang or something. Like so you get the kill on the impact.
That's up there as well. But what I also like is if someone doesn't have armor, you can hit them in the head with a grenade, and then it will explode, and it will do 101 damage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've done that before. I did that to Mo.
He deserves it as well. So that's fine.
I don't know, I'm just satisfied with headshots. But speaking of, there's been quite a few from Fnatic here, and they may well steal away this round. Oh, it's getting quite desperate here for NiP now. He's not doing the job. Freiburg caught out, and now all of a sudden there is an insanely huge advantage here for Fnatic to steal this round. That's GetRight finding himself a solid connection onto Flusher. Still though, Crims now knows where GetRight is, or where he can be in the next 10 seconds at least. And that's a good off angle. Although I do wonder why it wasn't a pit or something.
As we were talking about jumping off Raptors and knifing people, Fnatic won a 3v5 with Tech 9s, essentially. And I don't think NiP wanted to win that round because there was a player that just pushes into Boiler in a 3v5 against pistols.
They got the opening pick as well. With
two
of them.
2 of
the opening picks, so it's like, yeah.
Why would you push into Boiler there in a 3v5? It makes absolutely no sense.
Technically speaking, it's a 5v3. It's like if you say 3v5, it suggests that they had the 3 and the opponent had the 5.
Ah.
So you always got to say the 5 first.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it gets mad confusing.
Does it?
Yeah. I had to say this. I'm sorry. I can't continue like this, Dazed. So it's like the opponent always has the second number, right? Like if you're talking about a football score, the home team has the first score, the away team has the second score. Right? There we go. I'm glad we've been able to share this.
Daze cares not for your distinctions, James. He cares not.
And now we can move on with our lives.
He simply can't be asked. As we've established.
I suppose he can't be asked.
My favorite phrase.
Can you be asked though, Daze? That's a question.
Nah. Nah.
Actually, I know the equivalent in Swedish because we have, obviously, it's appropriate because we have 2 Swedish teams, right?
Any excuse to talk in Swedish.
So the equivalent, from my understanding, is inte orka, which basically means can't be asked as well. Inte orka. Inte orka. Please confirm this. Please tweet at me to confirm that I have not made a fool of myself.
How fraudulent are your Swedish phrases?
What
because
do you mean?
you seem pretty confident in them, right? But like when the Swedish people are on, they're like, no.
Well, no, some I make up based on the words that I have, but some are actual things which I know, which is that, as I stated in the tweet. I didn't just make it up.
But you just said that you do make some stuff up.
Yeah, I didn't make that. I can't
But
just. But that's the thing. Like, I troll Swedish people by trying to speak Swedish because it doesn't make sense when I speak. Because I just put words together with like English grammar. Although it's Germanic language, there is some similarities. But still, you know, when I'm actually talking about phrases, I'm not going to mislead the public, James. I'm going to try to have integrity.
But you just said that you make them up, and then said
Yeah,
you didn't make it up.
if I'm trolling Swedish people
No, but you said you
in
make
person, then I'll make stuff up because it's hilarious. Because I'm trolling them and they hate it. So that's the entire point. But in this instance,
I can't make sense of this.
I'm trying to be factual here. I'm sure the tweeters will confirm. I'm sure there will be many Swedish people watching this match who can confirm. If Inte orka is the equivalent of can't be asked. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, we have the top mid take from Fnatic. Obviously, the Archsmokes allowing an ease of entry, and NiP are incredibly low on utility at this point. So it's going to be rather tough, quite forced to be playing passively. Nice kill from Draken, however, Fnatic trying to be undeniable here, but the UMPs are there in numbers for NiP. And Get Right slowly making the flank happen. I like that NiP are trying to take the fight to Fnatic here, but it's not really worked out too well in the end. I mean, how do you feel about this this Daisy? Would you have preferred a more passive approach or from NiP, or do you agree with the trying to get retake some of those positions a bit more aggressively?
Well, it was pretty passive at A for the most part. I mean, they had the Draken and Bodo. And where was the second player? I think he was around pit, no? Maybe it was
You're right, that's pretty passive. Positions are quite passive.
Now, that was really smart by Fnatic, though, to get right on the flank and just check for that. And as soon as they killed him, just go to B right away. Just free plant, free round, essentially. From that point, at least.
Do you think it's hard to innovate on this map? Even though it's, it's the renovated version of Inferno, is it hard?
It's under new management.
It's what, sorry?
Under new management.
Under new management.
Yeah. They should have that sign as a reference to being a redesign. They should have the sign outside the cafe in Italian or whatever language it is, saying under new management. Anyway, please, you were asking Dave's question. I apologize. I'm not really sorry, but I'm going to apologize.
Is it hard to innovate? You said?
Yeah, on Inferno. Like on a T side, for example, and or just generally.
Well, because it's a new map, so you're going to see some new things, like all the new spams and everything that people are doing. But I do think, like, strategically speaking, the map pretty much plays the same. Like, most people on a default just take mid control, take calls control, and then either burst on A or B. If you want a scrimmy strat, they either go quick B or jump out holes. So I think in that sense it is pretty difficult too.
3-1 at the moment for Fnatic, and NiP with limited utility. I would love to see a pop flash play at some point on the B bomb site. I think they need it the way things are going. Get Right's got the one flash and he's going to construction at the moment, but Freiburg's playing on the site as opposed to close, so it's a passive play with two UMPs on B, although Freiburg's moving into position now. Come on, get a flash in there, get the flash in there. What do you think? Do they need a flash?
They need to do something. You can't just play in a default with such a crappy buy. Or else this is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they have to go for the aggression there.
I mean, they have to do something. Like, you can't just play 5v5 CS where you have no smoke, like 2 flashbangs, and expect to win the round. Because if they just group up and hit anything, you're going to lose it more often than not. Much more often than not when you play against a team like Fnatic. Like, you have to take a risk.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I think Get Right was in new box and just dropped a flash. I mean, he all he had was one flashbang, and he just dropped a flash to the side of him to try and face the guys who were in pool. But
yeah, it would have been fine if they flash push B. Like, you need to take a risk. But before you flash push B, you want a third player at least in position to rotate. You know, because a lot of the time, if they just kill that player straight up, they'll execute on B, right? So.
And I think that gives them better ranges for the UMP as well to fight against, so it will do more damage. They need to be closer with the UMPs to really get the best out of them, because the drop off is is quite significant. The damage drop off. Back and looking for the early picks, but no one is going to entertain him there. Ooh, that is cheeky.
I do wonder if it might be a similar situation as to what we saw yesterday. Who was it actually Draken? Who was just consistently just going for the peaks?
Fox.
Was it a Fox? Right, yes, Fox. Yes, dependable Fox. I almost forgot, dependable Fox. I do wonder if Draken is going to be over-aggressive, if he will create more openings for the other team than he can for NiP. That's something I'm going to be looking at after, having the Fox thing in fresh in memory.
Won't forget that one for a while. 1 minute on the clock as NiP, Fnatic rather, wait for the smokes to disappear, and it's get right in Freiburg with the UMPs again, but this time they've got the counter smoke at the very least. And there's a gap, and Get Right will keep a keen eye on it as Fnatic continue to wait. They've got one player in there. What is this name?
Too easy for JW.
Okay, there
obviously.
we go. There we go. Excuse me. So the rest of Fnatic over towards the B bomb site. And they do have a third player there now. But they are quite lacking in grenades. No counter flashes left anymore. Crossfire is here though, and it's going well so far. Freiburg traded. Exists still a problem in construction. Get Right's there as well.
Want to be planted. Quite a clutchable situation in a 2s4. There is, oh my goodness gracious me, especially when that happens, to run through the smoke completely blind and unaware as to Dennis's position. They know now though, probably, oh, the peek comes in from Dennis. That peek is actually quite a cool peek considering that they're looking deep into the site. Could absolutely have gotten a couple kills there. But not to be. The round won by NiP, and they will survive with a couple players, or rather only a couple players dead, so pretty good result for them. That said, the bank is not too bad for Fnatic.
Both teams on the bye. Once again, both teams on good buys now, finally. And it's Fnatic with the 2-round lead. So let's see how aggressive NiP choose to get. Very aggressive indeed. A shutdown of Banana. And they'll rotate the third player, but will they keep 2? It seems they will for now with the boost that Draken has. Headshot position by the log still exists, although somewhat changed. I don't remember what team it was that had Molotovs on Banana that would either force players out of Banana or towards the tree position. Then you'd have grenades flying in towards the tree, which is nice to see. Forest position smoked off for the time being, but Fnatic don't appear to be committing to anything just yet. A lot of grenades are being used though. They're going to be left with a few smokes, a few flashes. JW close to the balcony. Oh, the creep is not going to work out for Offmeister. Maybe trying to pull players away from A, but it's a 4-1 setup here for NiP. Freiburg, though, starting to wonder.
Yeah, going to be pushed back very far at this point. Only a couple of smokes left on Fnatic. Going to have to win those aim battles. Forest, quite legendary from the pit position. He will be dealt with very quickly. NiP, though, able to survive the round with 4 players left. Good defense, slowly getting pushed back, but always maintaining enough tension, enough control there of the situation to prevent Fnatic from just overwhelming them. And James, it would appear that I was correct from all the Swedish people tweeting me. Although I messed up the order. It's Orca Inter.
So you were wrong then?
Well, it's just I messed up the order of the 2 words.
Well, then you're wrong. That's like me saying, I don't know. I don't know. Screw you, Dan. Opening kill from Draken. It's a lot riskier these days to peek second mid from apartments. Clean open window. Very exposed now. The CTs are in that position. Difficulties now in the buy for Fnatic. Crimson JW on the pistols. Draken down to 9 HP. Just got to be careful not to be grenaded. There was a common spot in library. There used to be a table that people would stand on, especially if they thought they were going up against another AWP. They'd stand on the table, so they'd be more likely to get legged and land a killing shot. There's the flash that we need from NiP.
Uh-oh. Oh, there's one player. But how many more? Oh, they line up for Freiburg Spray. That is essentially, that could be the round over. There's only 3 players left for NiP, but you can see Exist is in a great position as Fnatic commits. And NiP have done a good job here just to slowly whittle away at Fnatic until they are left with a half buy, which is what they'll have here, I imagine, just some pistols. And as their loss bonus is building, is that 3 in a row? How many in a row for for NiP? 3. Okay, so yeah, they'll have a nice chunky loss bonus, $2,400.
He's going for it again. But he's not. If he goes deeper to try and catch people on the ground, it's so exposed compared to old Inferno. But yeah, the in library the table is now a couch or a sofa. I don't know how common the word sofa is in America, but anyway. Don't see it in play at the moment, really. I don't think I've seen anyone stand on there, but of course it was very common on old Inferno.
Settee. Could call it a settee.
Could call it a settee as well, yeah. But isn't that like more than just that? Isn't that like the accompanying single chairs as well?
Actually, I don't know. But all I do know at the moment is Fnatic have decided to move, and it is resulting in a lot of issues for NiP. They are being beaten off the bomb sites, and they are out of position here. The problem with these pistols, they're so fast when they're moving into these forward positions onto the bomb site, and the bomb will be planted. However, there are 3 NiP players ready for the retake pretty much immediately, as we have most of Fnatic having to resort to playing from the site. They haven't been able to take the best positions, and this will really help NiP out massively, as they have, I believe, tabs on this too. They know where the players are. It's down to Fnatic to hit some incredible shots. We get 1 out of Crims there to deal with Get Right, and now the Tech 9 coming into play for Flusher, and all of a sudden, somehow, Fnatic still win the round. What an important one to win for them. 5-4. NiP in a not the best situation on the money, but they can still buy.
There were 2 bags there as well. Crims, he was low to the ground, and to put it mildly, he was low to the ground.
Get low.
Literally. Okay, so Draken with a peek again. Really hungry for some kills. Fnatic with a thin lead at the moment. Oh, sorry, I looked up settee, and so settee is a sofa suitable for 3 or more people, Dan.
There we go.
So yes. So yes. The apartments area is being cleared out by the removal men of Fnatic. They've got their van parked, and they're looking for goods. Boost over the smoke. That is nice. Nice. Dracoco. Sounds like a perfume.
Does it?
Dracoco for her. Definitely not for him. It's a 4-1 set up again for NiP. Exists on the high ground. Delivering the kills, or just the one rather, not plural. Forest, between a rock and a hard place. 2 Fnatic players left, and it seems they're abandoning ship towards A. Olofmeister maybe trying to keep people entertained, and he will fall, leaving Crims alone of 9 HP, a single digit of health. How long will it take NiP? Not very long for Get Right to start the rotation. There's a smoke down as well. Maybe Get Right gets a CT before Crims makes it to the site. The smoke's gone, and Get Right is holding the line. The laser is here. Crims has a flash, but Get Right's too far away to be hit by that. And there we go. He will plant on the coffins. Coffin full of missiles. Oh, Get Right! Still deploying his gun. So now it's a 1 versus 2. There's a smoke and 2 flashes on the CT side. The smoke has been deployed, and they will suggest a defuse immediately, and there's Draken with a pistol to finish things off.
I was wondering to myself, from Crims' perspective, how do you win this with 8 HP or whatever he had? That is pretty rough. Reset immediately. They can actually force buy though. It's probably advisable. Yeah, they're going to go for it. I think this is really the best play.
Why?
Because NiP's money is not. I mean, they get the chance to reset NiP, and if they wait around, because they've just been reset, they don't get that much more money. and the win of the round will have less impact than if they did a full save in this situation, which means that NiP would be more likely to be able to buy again in the following rounds, as opposed to just being reset and money screws. Well, they'd be money screwed, but they'd be able to buy still. So
Marvelous.
So, and also on the T side, with let's say two AKs and some Tech 9s, you have a lot of options to tailor the round to the equipment that you have. Ooh, that looks close.
Warning shots being fired by Mr. 2EZ4JW. Yeah, right, playing passive towards B. Everything working out for NiP. One Fnatic player left.
Yeah. Fnatic not able to get it going there. They kept one player at B to just try to keep two players at B by applying that presence and pressure. But they just couldn't seem to get that coordination in towards quads.
Olafmesh is actually having like a pretty rough game so far. He's died at B multiple times. Just not playing well at all, really. You know, Draken picked him off in that off-he-up duel. The second round, which is the round they won, he kind of rushed in and, you know, made it 4v5.
That was hilarious that Draken looked down to the pit every time somebody peeked from the side, and as soon as he stopped looking down, they stopped peeking. It's funny. It's almost like people's brains are intertwined. That would be really gross, though.
Yeah, but if NiP didn't lose that second round and got into that just force buying, you know, thing, and they just won that second round, I mean, they've been crushing them ever since they've had, you know, guns.
Maybe they will have guns soon again. Let's see where they're at.
No, I mean NiP has.
Oh, right,
because it was
right,
4-1 to Fnatic off that force buy, you know, when they won that 3v5 with the Tech 9s. And if NiP didn't drop that round, I mean, I think the scoreline would be, you know, 9-3 or 10-2 or something.
Yeah, sitting comfortably. They have 3 AKs. Must be nice. Must be nice for NiP.
Must be nice. MBN.
Is that actually a thing that people...
In English poker forums, it is, yeah. Draken going for the cheeky pick, cheeky. And that's left them at an early disadvantage. No snipers now for the CT side. A very rare play. It used to be really fun to see those plays in Old Inferno. Maybe we'll see more of it in the future, but that might ward off NiP from that tactic for the rest of this half, should they even have the money to try it again, as we're looking at a wipeout here. Exist trying to protect his plant pot, but by the plant pot he will die.
It's all falling apart. I felt like, I mean, that's the first time Draken's made that play. I mean, he's gone aggressive in mid fairly commonly, so maybe, I mean, if you classify it as just mid aggression, then he's been doing it all the time, but he just went for the deep smoke and the play and missed the shot. It's unlike him to miss that shot, and if he hits the shot, I think he's able to fall back and survive. So it's, I mean, how do you feel about that one, Days?
No, I don't like that play. I think if you do that, it's way better to at least have somebody flash alt mid just to delay them a little bit so you can get posted. But regardless, the issue with that play is that you get spammed through the smoke. Because especially because the mini pit, especially now on this Inferno, you could go so far to the right in the mini pit, and it's just so easy. Like, people are always there, so they just spam you through the smoke.
Right, missing another one. Yeah, I feel like that's. I agree. Like, in my opinion, that's the biggest issue as well, is the spray, because also mid is narrower than it used to be, so it's really not hard to spray someone through that smoke.
Yep.
Even if they don't fire a shot and you know someone's there, you've got a very reasonable chance to kill them just guessing at the smoke. Exist on the long position, waiting for the flashes to come in just in case they push through the smoke. That's why he's facing the wall.
But you know what you do? You throw that smoke, then you go to bench. Then as they're spraying, you underhand flash, jump through the smoke with an ump. Perfect counter.
Boom. There it is.
That's how you gotta think. The always the perfect counter.
Yeah.
The most CSGO play possible.
Speaking of which, we got boosted over smokes. How many will he get? Will it be 1? Will it be 2? 3 or none? Well, Exist has died for the cause. And so has Get Right. Oh dear. I kind of hyped that up. I apologize. Draken and Freiburg, though, able to refrag here, or rather get some kills defensively on the B-bomb side as it is under attack. Fnatic have decided to set themselves upon it. And it's looking quite difficult here to actually hold on to this. Bomb is going to go down just in the nick of time to dive through the smoke. Please let me kill this guy. This one guy as he's planting, but no.
That was a tight one, but again, in that elimination, the round was on regardless. Last round of the first half, and life is going to suck for NiP. What was that noise?
I don't know. But because they have been having struggles on the T side, I do wonder whether NiP, how the second half it will look actually. It's going to be really, really fun to see how that turns out. So.
Might be fun, might be depressing.
Guess it depends. I mean, it's never going to be Vegas Squadron, so.
We say never. Well, maybe not. Maybe not this one.
I don't think it gets worse than that, really.
No, it doesn't.
I actually don't think it gets worse than that.
That's the upside. That's the upside. We've the lowest low. So now you can move on. It's good to be humbled every now and then. Pop flashes once more. It's good to nade HE behind that wall as well, again, because it's you're close enough to hear the collision if someone is there. Obviously, with better weaponry, it's good. If you have an AWP there, you can shoot through the wall and finish off the job. Dave, how do you feel about? I mean, it depends on what the teams have been doing, right? But like on the CT side, last round of the first of the half, auto sniper just spamming through that wall panel.
I don't think having an auto sniper is ever a bad idea. No matter the spot. it's insane.
The no-scope value is bonkers with it, but enough about that. We've got a push coming into the A site finally from Fnatic. 20 seconds on the clock, and Draken is essentially in a 1 versus 5 with the UMP. How far can he go? Not very far at all. Brakes been put on. Get right with a CZ. Oh, that's glorious. And now he picks up an AK. Running distraction while Freiburg comes in from long, and this has turned around extremely quickly. Flusher alone versus 2, both coming from the long position, both with kits. No nades, no flashes on these guys, and it's Freiburg picking first.
Wow.
Doesn't have the superior range weapon-wise, but he'll get the kill regardless. UMP for life.
Yeah, that's first bullet in accuracy. It looks really on point, and he obviously had the sound cues to know exactly where to put his crosshair. Very surprised he didn't get that frag. Well, what an insane retake, though. Get Right and Freiburg just somehow just hammering through. It was a 2 versus 4, I think, at least. Get Right with 2 immediate kills on the CZ. I mean, sometimes that just happens, right? These players are very skilled. So, very nice one for NiP to win. That's to remind me next time. I want to follow up on the auto sniper discussion when we're into an eco or something. But let's see what happens here on the pistol round. We got 2 flashes on Crimson with the kit.
You've seen JW do that, huh? JW did it with the auto sniper. I remember I was watching a game. Just kept spamming it like 100 bullets.
Just forever. Forever and ever. It's a tentative opening. A coy opening perhaps, but the apartments have been occupied. Prospective tenants maybe. Or maybe a bunch of terrorists with guns. Probably the latter. Forest leading the way from the balcony, and they have suggested it's going to be A. Will Fnatic fall afoul to such trickery? Looks like JW is going to spot the rotation. Ace is going to try to hold them at bay. Just a small peek here and there, just to slow things down. Really smart by JW, and that's going to allow Fnatic now to be positioned. They found out the play. NiP.
But it's still 50 seconds for NiP, and they know the apartments are all empty. So they could still burst onto A if they wanted to. Fnatic, though, as time starts to run low, move a third player towards the B bomb sites, and here comes a push through Arch, which may suggest a split from their T's, but the bombs are heading towards the A site, and that's going to keep 3 Fnatic players. Crims, though, getting taken down in Library. What do the CTs make of this? Starting to move back towards A. Olafmeister and a pick gets taken down immediately, and that's an open A bomb site. Retake time, and again, Fnatic confused. JW is only now leaving B.
Do have the kit though. Flush has picked it up from Crim's dead body. Dennis, I was about to say, he's known for his pistols, but doesn't even get to fire. Get right too quick. Is it too easy for JW? That is the question. It's really, really hard. There are just too many players with the clocks. Oh man, what do you do? NiP with the second pistol round now. Did they win the first pistol round as well?
They did, but they got eco'd. Remember, it was
Right,
3v5, and they decided pushing Boiler in that 3v5
Ah, yes.
was a great idea.
Why, yes. That said, for Fnatic, this is one of the best maps, I guess, for a force buy. You've got loads of spots to work from with your pistols, and they have 4 CZs. I like Fnatic for having the CZs, because I'm also a CZ over 5.7 guy, even though the 5.7 is amazing. I think there's a lot of great spots for the CZ, all these corners to work off of.
I think Inferno. I think some maps lend themselves even more to the CZ, such as Inferno, because there's on the CT side there's lots of close angles for you to play. Map areas that NiP must, well, the Ts must claim by force.
I really like Train as well for the CZs.
Anti-force buy territory for the Ninjas. Leaving their lurker towards upper B, making sure there's no push from Fnatic and keeping their options open. They can force the CTs back on A, so they have less information. Try and push them off of the top of mid. And there's Olafmeister taken down in apps. The less info the CTs have, the more difficult it will be to be at the right place at the right time. Dennis looking for that close range. There's another CZ taken out. Nice movement there from NiP. First player jumping. Nice shot there from JW. CZ showing their power. Still two CZs alive, and again now Draken may feel like he has to try and protect this weapon. He'll get taken down by the second CT. So that's an AK collected in the 2-on-2.
Oh man, Forrest lucky to be alive there. Getting pushed just as he pulls out his weapon. Oh, JW! Gets every kill. 3 kills in this round. 1 HP. And so again, it happens. And if you win the pistol, then they lose to the force bite. I mean, again, it's very much more difficult on this map to deal with than on some other maps. And it is CSGO. And you're playing Fnatic, a team that is famed for CZ play, especially with Flusher on the team, the CZ aficionado.
That got really awkward for NiP towards the arch position. Exposed to 3 places, AK on the floor as well. You don't know if it's safe to pick it up when you're holding the UMP, so you end up having to try and protect the weapon from being collected by the opponent. Ooh, Forrest got blasted into space. That leaves 4 more players, and Fnatic again, the CZ putting in more damage. 3-on-2 though. Get right and Draken heavily tagged. They've got a shadow angle advantage towards construction. And now it's Get Right. He's got loads of time. There's no pressure to plant the bomb in this 1 versus 2. Just needs to try and make the right decisions. Get the 1 versus 1. Hasn't really got the health to take a duel. That's 3 kills with Get Right.
Wait,
and 3 kills it will finish.
He had a Galil, James. I haven't seen one of those in ages.
He did have a Galil, yeah. I love Galil.
Me too.
Do you like Galil? You don't like Galil. He's shocked. You got to turn your mic on, man.
The Galil is terrible.
What makes it terrible?
The fire rate, the movement rate that you have, you're pretty slow. It's really tough to like wide peek you know, wide angle peek people, fast peek them.
I never considered the movement rate of the Galil. I gotta check it. I gotta. Okay.
Ranges,
I'll be
movement
back.
speeds.
I'll be back.
Okay. Apartment's something that is easier to deal with, easier to take in New Inferno. And that is being used and abused by NiP, jumping through the balcony. A few frags coming in from Dennis, though, to help the efforts. And the bomb can be planted. So there is that for NiP. But how many more players will be lost here? Nice Dink once you exist. It's going to make his life harder, but he is playing headshot angles, which is, again, pretty helpful when you're in this kind of a position, when you have low HP. Freiburg as well, this is one of the probably, well, horrible spot to deal with if you're a CT, unless you immediately headshot the player playing that spot. And they don't get to play the dance with you. Where you have to play the guessing game. When are they going to stand? When are they going to crouch? When are they going to stand?
You know what's funny is at Beyond the Summit, Freiburg said Brax played it perfectly when Swag was playing that spot, and Swag was popping up and down every 3 seconds. And then he just plays that spot and just straight peeks.
Takes contact first, instead of waiting,
The Galil
that's a very good point, actually. Sorry.
The Galil movement speed is the same as the AK-47.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, then the gun just sucks.
I like the Galil.
It has good armor penetration.
You're just not good enough, Dave.
Yeah.
The armor pen is.
You're right. I probably wouldn't be able to body Oscar like you would.
I know.
With a 1 HE
with
grenade.
With the HE grenade, yeah.
I'm ready, mate. You have no idea.
That's just so good.
I love how he just goes, well, I would just HE grenade him.
We'd have you back here more often, Dates. This is good.
Good JW push.
Oh, man. Fnatic cleaning up. Cleaning up. Tech9s, no more.
Okay, let's see the situation. Oh, marvelous. All right, so Dave, you are going to solo cast this round.
I'm going to solo cast this round.
Yeah. Good luck.
I feel like my mic just got muted again. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's do it. NiP on a full buy, almost full utility. Get Right and Draken, both missing a little bit there. No flash or molly. Dennis going for the alt mid peek, so you're going to see the flash come as well, and that's why he's able to get that kill, because his teammate flashes from arch side mid before he peeks. Gives him a little bit of an advantage. So now they just need to save their utility a little bit. For whatever reason, they still have 4 towards A and 1 playing towards B. So already Fnatic taking a little bit of a risk this round, but it works out because there's nobody top B at all for NiP. They're all in the bottom. And Forrest is going to try to take mid control. He doesn't see anything porch. This is bad for him. It's going to give him a false sense of security that he could actually peek out boiler, maybe peek towards arch side, and he might die because of that, since they are in essentially a mid stack. So 2 guys go back B towards Fnatic, understanding that they do have the advantage. They don't really need to take any type of risk like that. And Fnatic kind of giving up the halls, so they're just aggro mid with 3 players. JW just saving his Molotov in case there's any type of B take that happens. So he's just going to sit there with his molly out, Flusha just staying sight side. He still has a smoke. It's going to delay NiP, and without any map control, it's going to be really tough for NiP to win the round. We have a player from NiP in halls though, so he's calling the teammates back. So they're going to try to go up mid and halls together to try to take that A site, but everything points to a Fnatic round win so far. But a lot of it's just going to come down to these entry frags. That deep smoke pops out at middle, and this is where the battle is going to take place. Then it's going to take contact from port side, sprays down 1, Freiburg trades. Olofmeister back in the site though, gets a kill, and he has a really strong spot at default. It's going to be a good hold from him. Makes it down to a 1v1 with Draken. He knows he has an op, so as long as he just stays alive here, makes him commit, really no chance for Draken to win that round.
Okay, so I just got a call from Faceit CEO. I am fired.
Yeah, right.
Thanks.
There's no inflection in my voice, man. I can't make it exciting.
We'll find a way, man. We will find a way. We'll find a way to set you free from your, level of internal misery that must lie there somewhere. We'll release you.
That's
from
what
that.
it is.
Internal misery.
Be the phoenix bursting through the bubble of depression. On the subject of depression, Freiburg is like, where's 98% of my life gone?
No, I've seen too much Counter-Strike. It's just too routine. seen too much of it.
You just need to get, you need to
Now,
get,
if we were watching Rops, though, I'd be, Rops, the greatest round I've ever seen in my life. This guy can do no wrong.
There it is. There it is. Got to find a way to channel it. Like
it's funny.
We need a picture of Rops on the table, like a frame. The face pointed at Daze.
How much you want to bet he has blue eyes? I did look that up, by the way. He's like, correcting me.
Are you going back to the Wizard
on
thing?
the Galil? No. No.
So it was Estonia, was it?
Yeah, it's like 99% of them have blue eyes or something
Really?
crazy like that. Yeah.
Maybe he has like red eyes or something. He's like, just like superhuman
Maybe.
or something.
Or like the devil.
Well, you don't have to be the devil if you have red eyes.
Well, who else has red eyes?
Devil doesn't even exist.
Yeah, no, but in terms of like characters, because people don't have red eyes, right?
In my world.
So like people, in terms of characters, the only one I can think of that has red eyes is like.
You just associate red with evil, James. I don't know why you're making these associations.
Black and red are the colours of war, don't you know this? Anyway, it's something for you to look up. 4 rounds between these two teams. 2EZ, 4JW has been he's been taken down early. That's a problem for the Fnatic team. All of White's going for the peak. I don't know if he's no, the bomb was around the corner. Okay, so he hasn't seen that just yet. But NiP are trying to capitalize on their advantages. Minute 10 on the clock. Crim's trying to hold down a short position. Lots of pressure on A by NiP, but there we go. Nice headshot onto Forest.
Yeah, slowly getting forced back here. They've lost 2 players in the process, but with that man advantage, Fnatic can just sit on this right now and just they've actually lost most of their utility, and there's only 50 seconds left. So that's a pretty good going by NiP, considering that they themselves have conserved a bunch of grenades. So we have even a Molotov actually on Draken. So it looks like they're moving their way back on towards the B side of things. And we'll see whether or not NiP can break this bomb site. Fnatic have actually left just Dennis here. They've got a floating player around CT spawn starting to come back now. No information plays really towards A. They are starting to move outwards slightly. Perhaps that's given them the idea to take this rotation. We get Dennis coming, getting some support now from CT spawn, but he is smoked off. So NiP should be able to get the bomb down, and they have a post-plant situation now. This is good. This is good from NiP.
That makes it even better. The banana player taken down very quickly, and that's the man advantage gone for Fnatic. They've got 0 grenades, no flashes. They've just got to dry peek these angles with 2 AWPs. You see the shadows are to the advantage of NiP as well. Frobe trying a continuation spray, but there's nobody else there, and everyone else is leaving on the Fnatic side. Retaking with 2 ops and no grenades. Awkward. And NiP will make double figures. So how do you think about the way NiP have been playing so far?
Well, everything's been pretty decent except for losing those anti-ecos. Had they not lost those anti-ecos, I mean, this score is easily flipped, and I think NiP honestly probably has this game in the bag. So besides that, it's been pretty decent. It's a lot better on Inferno. You know, they play it just, but at the same time, it's a lot more difficult, just like on Cobble, for that Opper to get really aggressive and to get those picks. It's a lot more difficult. So they're able to play way more 5v5 CS and then, you know, dictate the pace on when the kills are going to happen, when NiP wants them to happen. And that makes it so much easier on players like Get Right and Forest to, you know, just be in their routine, essentially. And when they can be in their routine and read the game like they want to read the game, I mean, there's very few people better in the world at doing it.
Yeah, their basics on the T side has been pretty good, like that last round. I'd expect actually to see probably a very similar round from them. Just it was very basic, you know, the pressure on top mid. They forced a couple exchanges as Fnatic tried to prevent them from taking everything away. Fnatic forced into passive play, most of their utility forced out as well. Fiber going a pretty aggressive hit top mid, just reclaiming it with the support of Get Rights. I think is that Draken? That's Draken, sorry. Now they take top mid away as well. So good map control plays coming from NiP. Forest finds an opportunity and he'll take it. Taking the duel with Dennis, winning that one. 5 versus 4 now for NiP. 40 seconds to go. Forest just continues to find players off balance. And he's going to knock him over until he's now left with 9 HP. And he can now go defensive in the library.
JW's been hurt now, so He needs to be careful. Oh, Forest spotted and Forest swatted. That can be a second walk collected by Flusher. Or just a solo walk, just a one.
Yeah, superior angle there from Draken.
So the reason Forrest went arch side there is because he knew the Opera was there. So he's like, hey, I got 5 HP. Let me just, you know, might as well fight the Opera, right, after getting dinked.
Yeah, smart. I think a lot of people don't know about the angles, like, you know, how close you are to an angle. If you're further away, you have more of the advantage. Less of you, or more of them will be showing the closer that they are to the angle. Not
I'm
sure.
sorry, say that again?
Like when you're really close to the angle, like more of you will be showing to the opponent who's much further away.
I think what he's saying is if two people are peeking a corner,
Yeah.
the person closer to the corner has a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because the person further away will see their opponent first versus, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people necessarily know that. So something to think about when you're trying to take angles against AWPers. If you know an AWPer's on an angle and he's very far away, like in that situation with Draken, then you're going to have a bad time.
Even without AWPing, it was something that SK were very aware of. For example, on Inferno, on these stairs where Get Right is, on old Inferno, down the stairs, creeping around the corner, if someone's like standing by the wall, I forget which one it is, but one person had a significant advantage, you know, see their opponent first, but it's new Inferno, it's Inferno for those of you from the internet. There's a flash for Forest to peek. That's a great shot onto Olaf Meister's dome. He'll be left for Maggots to feast on as NiP continue pushing into the A bomb site. Oh, Dennis, he had the angle, but he was completely blind. Saved by the flashbang. That's an advantage for NiP, although 2 of their 3 players are heavily tagged, so this can spin around quite quickly. JW close, JW fishing. Will anything bite, though?
Yeah, much better position to be AWPing from for JW. Will there be any poking, any pudding? Oh, Snows. But can do so much. Really wants to create an opening, but looks like it's not to be had. Flusher just making sure that there's no flanking going on. They can save these guns. As you can see, their economy has been ruined.
So Dan, so say someone's opting on arch side mid, just like default arch spot. You're saying, yeah, on the CT side, and you want to peek him as a T.
Yeah.
And you have an AK. Where should you peek from what you're saying?
So, well, I guess that situation depends, because if you're close to the angle and you're doing like a peek, if you're closer, then you want to appear as close and as fast and go as fast across the screen as possible. So if you're closer, it's probably better.
I think
even though you're going to show more, in that situation, it's probably better to be closer.
I think the scenario he's describing is like if you've got 2 snipers who are crab walking scoped in, right? Like let's say somebody's bottom mid and someone's top mid next to boiler. The guy bottom mid should see the guy top mid crab walking before the opposite happens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying...
I think a lot of people don't know about that, because there's an example of that. There was an example of that because JW was trying to peek the angle through library onto the A bomb site, where Draken had obviously like a huge amount of range watching that angle. So Draken saw him way before.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted to highlight that because a lot of people don't necessarily know about that.
Okay.
That's a gameplay mechanic.
I thought you were like explaining, like saying like a way to peek things that I didn't know.
Oh,
no.
I
was like, wait. What have I missed here? How do you know something crazy like this and I have no idea what you're talking about?
Forest is causing massive problems on a short position. Good for the wide peak, but indeed the trades are still there. Finally shut down thanks to Crims, but it's a bloodbath towards the A site, and NiP are cleaning things up once again, but take 9. Almost finishing the round there. Get Right, his position is known. Going for the short plant regardless. Got the Molotov to make him relatively safe. Never really safe in Counter-Strike. 55 HP, 2 players to find. Quietly making his way, really go into the apps. Looking for potential flank. I think he might be exposed from that angle. Yeah, he will move. Really go all the way around. Kits onto both of the CTs, but there's no way they're going to tap and hold. There is surely no way. They're not even going for it just yet. They're taking a long time and not really doing anything. Down goes Flusher, and surely that's the round. Oh, JW going for the hero play. Had to come off it, and now he's got no choice. Has to run away. Get Right, won't try and cut him off though, or will he? absolute maker there. He'll
Oh.
die on his swords. Fnatic took a very long time, but he didn't really make much progress.
NiP getting 4 round wins in a row from detonation actually, which is pretty awesome because that's actually a nice bit of extra money as well. So you get a bit more money for detonation than you do for elimination.
How much money?
I think it's 250 more, isn't it?
I don't know exactly, but I know it's a pretty small amount.
I think it's like 3,500. It's 3,250 for elimination.
I think you're right.
But that's extra $1,000, James.
That is $1,250 there.
What, times 4? 20.
There are 5 people in Counter-Strike per team.
Oh no, yeah, of course.
It's not Call of Duty, mate. Mag 7 is in play. So this is one of the angles looking down the stairs, but again I don't remember what it is, so half on about it. Oh, if he got the first shot, maybe he gets 2 kills there, but we will never know. Never! 4 on 4. There are holes in the defense of Fnatic, not really making any aggressive plays to try and make up for their issues at the moment. They may be at the mercy of their opponents. That said, Olofmeister's been active, moving up short again. But this rotation, should NiP go towards B, will be very long indeed. JW now on Speedway, holding down the arch position, so Flusher has a lot to do.
Yeah, that's a pretty hard position to play when you're getting rushed down like this. But that is definitely a good start. No one to immediately try to trade the frag, and it's obviously you have to go for quite a wide peak to try to get to that position. And now his teammates to play off of, Flusher can do a lot more. JW will fall, but the trade frag from Flusher is there, so he's playing this well. Oh no, not quite the miss not quite a miss you can afford to make in this situation. And indeed the time has run out, and he might die after time. Oh god, oh dear.
I actually don't think he missed.
Oh, he didn't miss?
No, because whenever you jump, as soon as you land, it's almost random. But if you shoot right when you land, there's a chance that
inaccuracy.
Yeah, that you have the inaccuracy.
Yeah, there's jumping inaccuracy on landing.
Yeah, but it doesn't always happen. There's many times where you could shoot right after you jump. It's not. I don't think it's a consistent value. I really don't.
Okay. Well, isn't it to do with your how you've dropped basically, like your the units you're moving in some direction when you're falling? Is that like, because I know at some point, for example, people were managing to replicate or having accuracy when they're jumping if they were able to control how many units per second they were moving when they were jumping or something like that, when they're in the air, something like that. I can't remember.
It was the apex of the jump.
Well,
that as well.
Was the most accuracy.
So for example, do you remember when Get Right fell off of the old nuke on the rafters and
it was
with
fully
Tech 9,
accurate.
and he's fully accurate because the way that he was falling was basically he had no forward movement speed, and so that meant he was fully accurate. It's something like that basically.
I do recall that was pretty bonkers. Speaking of bonkers, Draken, he was searching on the CT side so long for those picks, and now he is the recipient. He is the ungraceful and unwilling recipient of a shot to the head and dead. Pistols, but that was a brutal round for NiP, considering the potential advantages at JW in CT spawn. They smoked off CT, but he got a kill through the smoke. Flush got a kill, which was the bomb left in an exposed position. So that round really collapsed for NiP. They had such a strong potential to take B and win that round, and now it's left them with no money, where Fnatic are going to move on to match point. So after stringing some success together, it falls apart at maybe the worst moment for the Swedish side. They're both Swedish. There are 50 seconds on the clock, and there are 3 players. Get Right has opportunity, but he's got 7 HP. Ooh, if only he knew that Tech 9 would have been a better choice. But then this will never let him out of that arch. 2 AWPs continue for Fnatic into match point versus NiP on Inferno. And their money is $2,000. Their money is $2,000. They've got enough for lollipops and or ice cream, but not both. Pistols and the UMP on to Get Right.
Yeah, we've seen how much damage this can do though. Dennis is playing arch side with the AWP. He's got a mate as well, so 2-man arch side. So Daze, what do you think about 2-man arch side versus 2-man quad? Like what pushes you to make the decision to play 2-man arch side in a round versus the conventional 1 site 1 quads or 1 back 1 quads?
Well, I usually want to play 2 arch if I think they're going to hit arch side.
There you go.
Or maybe if I lean towards B a bit too.
Okay.
I think it's a little less common on this Inferno though, because it's a lot harder to and more difficult to hold halls and porch now, so you can't really take that risk nearly as much. But we still do see it sometimes.
Great first shot from JW, but they continue to march. They need to close the distance, but he is not allowing them. JW holding things down on his lonesome, looking for the ace. Almost the 4th kill there, but Olaf Mice will clean up the remainder, making it 16-13, going in favor of Fnatic after all.